Yeah, see? Don't be afraid. There you go. See? Okay, there we go. Oh,
Oups!
language commissioner.
Tu te tasses un peu.
Ah non,
Faut que ça soit dans le milieu. Là.
no, ça sera. See, look. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on. I won't bite. Or, by the way, I have a broken collarbone
On te fait ça.
because being an idiot, a fool, riding a bicycle, camera, and dog.
And a helmet?
No helmet.
Ah, there you
That's
go.
what, and you know what? It was so bad. I landed in the hospital, and I started speaking French. And I told them, I said, why am I speaking French for? And then
Maybe you hit your head.
I hit my head.
You went
See,
back to your
my
your
roots,
childhood.
my culture. No, it was terrible. Don't be shy. Come on, come on. Okay, there you go. Now, don't break the other collarbone. Okay, language commissioner, you want this to calm down? Yeah. Thank you.
I don't need to calm down.
No, of course not.
You calm down.
Oh, no, okay. Relax.
Relax there. I won't break your collarbone.
It won't break my collarbone. Trust me.
All right.
It's a long time we want to do this. Okay.
On parle du rapport.
We are going to talk about the report. We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about your office. A lot of people are non-educated. That's why we're going to speak English, or we could speak French once in a while. It don't matter. If you're pissed off enough, you can speak French. But, okay. Language Commissioner, that office been brought up by Bernard Lord, if my memory serves me right.
Yes.
And why? That's right, you were the first one.
Yes.
That's right. And why was it, why do we got a language commissioner for?
Well, it was felt that since 1969, the government had obligations to live up to the Official Languages Act, you know, to meet its obligations of serving people and communicating with people in both official languages. And in 2002, when they amended the act, it was felt that they still needed to improve. And it was felt that an ombudsman type person could help in moving forward. So they created the position. It's an ombudsman type position, which
Recommendation. You're totally useless, but you got recommendation.
well,
Just like the ombudsman.
Yeah, we're
Totally
not,
useless.
well, it's not useless in the sense that you hope that your recommendations will in fact be taken seriously and that the government will act upon them. But you're right in the sense that we don't have the power of a court.
No.
We can't force a court to adopt a change. Or, like a court, we can't force government to adopt a change. So the idea is to receive complaints, to study issues and matters related to government's obligations for official languages, and then to make recommendations to improve the situation.
Okay, we're trying to make sure that people still stay here, don't fall asleep. So we're just going, but that is your role as the commissioner. And you were the first one, and you always did stuff behind the scene.
Well, not always, but I did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, yeah.
I notice when I'm talking to you in the mall or on the street, you're like the godfather. A lot of people walk by you, nod at you, hello, big smile, hello. I mean, you are well known. People you know a lot of people.
I'm a people person.
Really?
I'm a people person. I talk to people. I like people. Most people.
Can you say most people? Here we go. I'm
not sure about you. Not sure about you yet,
Most
but
people.
most people, yeah.
Don't include me. But anyway, that's okay. I'm here. Okay, so you know a lot of people, and when you know a lot of people, the issue of languages, you could talk behind the scene, do stuff behind the scene that don't have to go public. There's a lot of stuff you do behind the scene.
Oh, well, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to move these things forward, and it's the influence can be exerted in a number of ways. It could be done officially through a report, or done through a report following an investigation. It could be done through presentations to groups, and it could be done in an exchange with individuals, either people working in government or people who simply want to have more information on it. So yeah, there's a different ways to do the job.
And you had your job. See, I didn't notice. I don't have everything marked here. Usually, I'm getting ready a little bit, but this is on the cuff of the head.
Well, let's just hope that your accident didn't hurt your memory.
Catherine d'Entremont, how's that for a memory, for a flashback? You sort of like walk right into that one. Okay, what I remember looking at you and say, Michel, right in the corner, George Street and Westmoreland, and it was cold. It was about minus 30 wind
Yeah,
chill.
that's when I was retired, yeah.
And you took the time to talk to me, which is nice. Minus 30 wind chill. And I told you, Michel, I'm starting to turn on the other side. I'm an Acadian. I'm a proud Acadian. Help me, Michel. And we talked for half an hour. Do you think, what was the problem with D'Entremont? I don't expect you to condemn her, but what was really, there was Michel Carrier, we never hear Michel Carrier before, but when she came along, it's sort of like a bomb, nuclear bomb. They're just
Well, I can't tell you, if there was a problem or what was the problem. It didn't play out as I'm sure she expected it. She didn't get government support. There was stuff that was done which was reported, I think, probably not as accurately as it should have. She found herself she found herself on a defensive on some files, and then it just became a field day for people who oppose official language
the people
bilingualism. I'm not talking about them specifically. People who are not in favor of official bilingualism, and they used her as a target to. So it got bad. It got a lot worse. And but when you look at the body of work that this office did during her time, you look at the reports. They're all accurate. I mean, her interventions dealt with issues that were there. She didn't create the issues. She dealt with them. Obviously. It didn't always get a favorable response from government.
Maybe it's because she's French and she speaks English.
The funniest thing, Charlie, let me stop you right here.
Go ahead.
You know what her mother tongue is? Catherine d'Entremont?
Is it English?
It's English.
From Nova Scotia?
Her mother is English, I think, from the Moncton area.
Okay.
Her mother tongue, because we all say our mother tongue, it comes from our mother. Her mother was English.
Her mother was English.
So to say because she was French, well, her father was French, she had a French name. But, it has nothing to do with it.
No, what I'm trying to say is a Frenchman talking English, it could come out the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like the law is the law. Like the bilingualism law. And there was a lot of conflict, and like the Wayne Grant thing, the commissioner, and all that.
Well, what I mean? We're not going to go rehash, the past 5 or 6 years. What I'm going to tell you.
But I hit my noggin. It's coming back. I don't forget stuff.
No,
okay, Charlie, shut up. We're doing
Charlie, look, I had done 5 or 6 years previous to that. I had done an investigation on commissionaires. I had made a recommendation. The recommendation was adopted by Bernard Lord at the time. He sent a memo saying commissioners who are representing government fall under the Official Languages Act. So when you have an agreement with the Corps Commissionaires for these type of positions, make sure that the contract states that they must be able to serve people in both languages. We never heard anything about it. It was done. Now, unfortunately, later on, somebody dropped the ball. It wasn't Catherine d'Entremont who dropped the ball. Somebody dropped the ball, and all of a sudden there was someone greeting the people in the brand spanking new Centennial building, or
Chantry Place.
I know Chantry Place, and she said, "Look, it's not according to the directives given many years ago by Bernard Lord." So, but then
she made her own complaint there.
Well, well, the Act allows the commissioner to start an investigation on his own complaint. There's no problem with that. The Act says that you can do that. So it's not a matter now. So that issue took a life of its own.
It sure did.
And unfortunately for her, it made it very difficult for her from that point on to deal with other issues. But the work that she did, and if people are going to take the time to look at the reports are factual. They're balanced. It's just a matter of trying to do the job. But it became very difficult for
The
her.
Fredericton Police Force, did she call them and told them to tweet in French and English? The Fredericton firefighters. And then they tweet in French and say, well, that French is not good enough. They say, I'm the boss, stuff like that. Doesn't that cause a conflict between, well, we're moving too fast?
No. Look, the Act has been there for 50 years, Charlie.
Yeah.
It's not as if, people are
Excuse me.
pushing. The Act has
50
been
years,
there
yeah.
for 50 years.
50 ans.
So, 50 years and we're still talking about this.
Why are we still talking about this?
Well, that's a good question. And where we're still talking about it, there's still things to be. Look, I'm the first one to say we've improved. And I said it to the committee on Friday morning when I presented my report. I worked in Fredericton in 74 to 77 as a civil servant. And there's been tremendous progress. But there's still stuff to do. The Act is not being followed all the time. And the job of this office is, that's the job by law. We have to, when there is a situation like that, we have to come out and say, look, it's not being followed, find a way to follow it. You make recommendations. If you can't conform to the Act today, what are you going to do today, tomorrow, next week, and the week after to do it? So it's not a radical approach, and so it's a matter of planning, as most managers do, in order to live up to their obligations. So the Act is the Act. The Charter of Rights, the Supreme Law of the land, sets out the obligations that are found in the Act. People of both official linguistic communities must be treated equally by the government. Not an accommodation, not a second-rate service because you've asked to be served in one language or the other. It's supposed to be equally. So that's what we're shooting for.
So how many people come here and complain? Okay, what kind of, if we talk about Acadians, we're talking about Quebecois, what we're talking about Braillon, what culture come here and complain?
No, most of the complaints we receive are from French-speaking New Brunswickers, and that shouldn't surprise anybody because English-speaking New Brunswickers can get service in their own language pretty much everywhere in the province, even in the very French-speaking sections of the province. So we receive very few complaints. Now there are some that come from the English community, and they're dealt the same way. And actually, I was working on a report today where we received a complaint from an Anglophone about services in the hospital, and we're dealing with that.
Service in the hospital?
Yeah.
He didn't have his service in English?
Yeah, there was no active offer.
It must have been in 50 ans.
No. I don't talk about ongoing investigations.
No,
I'm going to
it's
tell
in
you.
front of the courts. Boy, I just did a blog about that. In front of I can't comment on it. It's in front of the court. I think that's just a way to. Anyway, okay.
Well,
Charlie.
if the cynic in you would say that, but we have a pretty good justice system in this province.
Please,
Okay, you don't
please,
agree with it.
please,
You don't agree with
please.
it.
Oh, no, let's focus. Okay.
So there are some process. There is a process.
Listen,
It's better to
speaking-
follow it than if.
You're just picking me. You know exactly what to pick and pick. Okay.
All right,
Let's talk.
all right.
Let's
Let's talk about the
hold it.
report.
No,
Let's
hold
talk
on.
about
No,
the
no.
report.
We'll get to that in 1 second. Let's talk about the justice system. And there was a case last week, and thank you very much. But I said next time the Fredericton police want to play a game with me, on va parler français. Puis moi, je vais m'accourir en français, puis ça va être en chiac. If you speak French in the courtroom, they're French, the law French, the lawyer's French, or even the English lawyer talk. You don't understand a word that they're saying.
Well, look, I'm not going to go there. I don't agree with what you're saying. Most people in this province understand basic English, and most people understand basic French.
In court?
In court. There's some words that are, real words. Now, there may not be the expressions used, but generally, it's an understanding. And if people don't understand, they can ask. But in most, so I don't agree with that, and I don't want to go there.
Okay, we're not going to go there. Sorry,
No.
you just give me a flashback.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing. The ambulance issue.
The what?
The ambulance issue. But the ambulance issue, somebody told me, a worker, a paramedic, told me that there was a kid. A couple of people came from the French immersion program in St. John, but when it comes to pass the test, they couldn't do it.
Yeah. We've heard from both sides of the linguistic fence that some people could not meet the level of bilingualism that is required. And what Ambulance New Brunswick has been doing, from my understanding, is that there is training available, courses available to help these people reach a level that they can function in. It's a level that's been set in order for them to be able to serve people correctly. And if you don't have that level, it may create a security or safety issue. So you have these instances. Yeah, they have occurred.
Who else going to say Michel? No. Je veux mon service en français. Come on. Let's be honest here.
Look, Charlie, you don't travel. But I tell you,
I travel enough.
You go to a country that doesn't speak French or English, and you get sick. Okay, so they can't talk to you. You're going to feel really comfortable, really? Come on now. I mean, there are reasons behind these laws, and it's more than just a legal reason. And even the most bilingual people, in a time of crisis, cannot express themselves as well as when they're very comfortable sitting in their chair at home. So. And we have statements from doctors saying that it's very important communication in order to be able to respond. So this whole idea that, if somebody is in a coma on the side of the road, language is not important, that may be a situation where it isn't. But there are many situations where it is. And the law states that you must be able to do that. So, look, we've beaten the ambulance thing to death over the last little while.
Oh, yeah. They even cost Brian the last election, I think.
And one of the things that I felt really uncomfortable with, not to say really disappointed, was that people were saying you either have to pick bilingualism or you're going to have people buying or you're going to have people dying on the side of the road, which is a complete falsehood. It's never happened. No ambulance has been removed from the service because of bilingualism requirements. Even today, it continues. So that issue was used to scare people, to get them to think, in a certain way.
Okay, scare people. Let's get to your favorite topic. You scared the shit out of a lot of people, a lot of old people, in your report Friday morning. Voila, there it is. So you want
How did I do that? Charlie?
Every home care workers must be bilingual.
Did you read my report? No, you didn't.
Did I tell you I have ADHD? You think I could read that bullshit? I mean, that thing for how many pages?
It's only 50-some pages, and there's some pictures.
Oh, is there pictures?
There's pictures for you, Charlie.
Yeah, for me also. Okay, are you being stereo profiling? Okay, never mind.
All right.
Okay,
Let me give you a little bit of background here. There was a study done as a result of a complaint about services in nursing homes and bilingualism. Government, in the speech of throne speech, said nursing homes are third parties acting on behalf of government. Government pays for them. They provide certification. They inspect them, etc. So they fall in fact under the law, under the Official Languages Act.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, if it falls under the Official Language, then they have some obligations. So the obligation is to serve people in the language of choice. So how are you going to do that? Especially in a situation where not all nursing home employees are bilingual. So you have to plan like they do in government. Not everybody in government is bilingual.
Yeah.
So they work in units, work units or working groups in order to ensure that there is enough people within that group, so that if somebody wants a language service in one language, there's a person there to help them. If they want in the other language, there's a person. We never suggested in the report, nor did I ever suggest when I met with the committee the other day, that everybody should be bilingual. It's just beyond belief.
So those unsung heroes, those care workers,
Yeah.
they have English Anglophone. They don't have nothing to worry about. Suddenly, Michel comes out with the book and say the law is the law, and then you're out of a job. No.
They have nothing to worry about. But you know what? Some people want them to worry for their own political agenda.
We're not going to mention no names.
The report never said that there should be a change of status. They said, look, you have a situation which is reality. You have people who are bilingual, people who are not. You have an obligation. Find a way, to deliver the program. And that finding a way doesn't mean you have to get rid of people or change. It means you can develop unit
Hello, parles-tu
strategies.
français? Quelqu'un qui parle français ici?
Well, you find a way. I mean, you look at it's like any other company, any other group, any other agency. When you have some obligations, you have some objectives, some goals, it could be business, etc. You have a strategic plan in order to meet those. And that's what I've been saying all along, develop the plan. And also, in bilingual nursing homes, there are some bilingual nursing homes, maybe you can set it up in
Where?
a way.
Chaudière?
Oh, I don't know where
Providence?
exactly. Yeah, there could be some in the Moncton area and up north, in Camelton or the other. In those bilingual nursing homes, maybe you can organize it in a way so you could have a French living area and an English living one, so that these people can, the people in the residents can, converse, exchange, interact in French, which is or in English, so again, it's a suggestion on how to develop, these areas.
Recommendation.
And a recommendation, and also to provide some training for the managers so that they're aware of what their obligations are. So it makes
Obligation. What do you mean obligation?
Well,
okay,
I mean-
so you have a resume. Oh, you say beautiful. You're well done. Bah, bah, bah. Oh, parles-tu français? No.
Yeah.
Un petit peu. Un petit peu.
That may happen, but you know what? The idea is to fill your positions that you need while living up to your obligations. Now, if you say, well, we're not going to live up to the obligations, then that's you're not working according to
The law.
the charter and the law. So, but
You understand
but no, I understand. I understand that people want people to understand that, and they want to say, oh, well, there we go. Because some people will say, well, in order to work for government, you have to be bilingual, which is not true.
It's not true.
54% of Part 1 jobs are occupied by Anglophones, and that takes all of Part 1. So imagine how many in the Fredericton area are occupied by unilingual. And you know what? If they can manage to serve people in their language of choice while having employees who are either bilingual or not, well, they're great. So continue to do that. So basically the recommendation was meet your obligations.
But you had that word obligation there.
Well, the obligation, it's part of the act. It's an obligation. Meet your, what else do you want me to say?
No, but if you have the obligation, that means you really want the bilingual worker to be
No. That wasn't
La
it.
marde.
That's not what it means. Obligation means you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility
To follow the law.
to follow the law. So how do you do it in a real world? Okay.
You don't
And-
take
and-
people that can speak.
No, you have people right now, and you may have to hire, people in order to fill those positions to offer the service. And in the meantime, you find a way to meet your responsibility under the Official Languages Act. So that's a challenge. How do you do it? You can't do it if you just sit back and do nothing.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
So what you do is
you remind them to do something.
You plan. You plan. So you may, as I said earlier,
Secretariat, what's
you may
that?
not be able to do it today or tomorrow.
Secretariat. What the hell is that?
Well, that's a
More
horse.
money?
That's a horse. No, it's not.
Secretariat. That was a good horse. That was
That was a good horse.
That was a very good horse. Ron Turcotte, à bon acadien. There.
Yeah.
No, à Bréon. Hein?
It's a good also.
It's also by Bréon. Okay. Secretariat.
Yeah. Well,
How much money would that cost now?
it doesn't have to cost any money. Right now, the premier is the person responsible for the administration of the act.
You already talked to the Premier in French?
No.
I don't want to hear that. I heard it once. Oh my God. He tries to. There's nothing wrong in trying, but it brings tears
But
in my eyes.